Hi guys, hope you're well. I just thought I'd take a moment to pay tribute to my very good friend Mark Potter, who passed away very recently. You probably will have known that already. There's been a lot of fantastic tributes by friends and family and all the social media. Just wanted to say my own piece about Mark. I knew Mark for about 15 years when I started filming for the IBA boxing, and I filmed so many of his fights. And of course that fantastic night up in Blackpool where he beat Butterbean so well and was on such good form. And there's been so many fantastic tributes that's been paid to Mark, through his friends. I don't want to sort of mention anyone individually because everyone is as important as everyone else. And of course, our condolences go out to Mark's family at this difficult time. I just enjoyed his company. He was great fun. He had a fantastic sense of humour, and I really liked him. I thought he was obviously a fantastic boxer, but he was actually a good actor. He appeared in one of my low-budget films, and it was really his sense of humour. And I used to enjoy coming to the boxing if he was either boxing or refereeing, as he did in later years. And we used to have a chat at ringside, and I was very lucky to do a lot of interviews with Mark, which are on the internet now, and people are watching and remembering everything about Mark. And I'll treasure those interviews. There's been so many people who've done some fantastic work for fundraising for him and charity events, and they all know who they are. And they've done a magnificent job, and it's been tough for his training partners, his family, anybody who knew him. He will leave such a gap, and not only in the boxing world, but anybody who met him. Tall, powerful, funny, intelligent, and a great miss. So we love you, Mark, and hopefully we'll meet again one day. Just the other day I found an interview of Mark's that I did with him, which has never gone out, and it was going to be part of a documentary that we were going to do. And so I'm going to play this interview now and also rerun the Butterbean fight. So good luck, Mark, wherever you are, and you are well remembered and well loved by everybody who met you.
Highlights of my career. 25 years old, fighting for the British on Commonwealth heavyweight title, taking the fight at 6 days' notice, and that was probably my downfall. The fact that I would have fought anyone at any time. I used to spar with Danny Williams, and he was a heavy-handed, strong guy, but I always enjoyed sparring with him, and I just fancied the fight. And at the time, the British champion was Michael Holden, and Danny was the Commonwealth champion. And truth of the matter is, Michael pulled out because he was ill, but he wasn't because he was ill, because I was meant to spar 10 rounds with him on the Friday, and he lasted 2 rounds with me. I knocked him out, and as soon as I knocked him out, I walked over to my manager at the time and I said, he's going to pull out the fight. He looked really jaded and he looked really disheartened, and he ended up relinquishing his belt, and I fought Danny Williams with 6 days' notice. And it didn't go my way, but that's life, that's boxing. I'd done 100 things right and one thing wrong that night, and you get paid for it. But Danny went on to fight Mike Tyson and beat him, fought Klitschko for the world title, and I take my hat off to him because he really done well. And I went on, I fought again, and I've got myself back up to British title level again, unification fight, and then I detached retina, and that was that for boxing. And I ended up I was in the wilderness for probably about a year before going on to what was then known as the unlicensed scene. I mean, they call it all different names now, and I started boxing on there, and I kind of redefined myself, and I kind of I come down, and I met a guy called Noel Tierney, who was my conditioner early on in my career, and we started talking, and he said, we can go and do this, and he was my pad man for years and years and years. And I used to sort of sparring out, and we just changed my training around. I become sort of a freestyle fighter rather than all-out brawler, and started a thinking fighter. And I just wish I'd done it when I was sort of 22, 23, 24, and I was a pro. Because I look at the pros nowadays, and I just think to myself, I can beat most of them. I really can.
So as a sort of unlicensed fighter, I mean, I think you went through unbeaten, didn't you?
I did. I've had 23 unlicensed, 23 wins, 23 knockouts. Can't exactly remember how many first rounds and how many second rounds, but it's virtually all of them. I think only a few of them went. I think one was a 6-rounder. I think 2 was a 6-rounder. One was a 3-rounder. The rest were 1s and 2s. And once again, all done by being a counter puncher and a thinking fighter. But once I've gone out there trying to bomb someone's head off, which is what I used to do as young as I was pro. But no, yeah, it went really well. And then I got talked into doing cage fighting. And
how was that as a difference? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I loved absolutely every second of it. I mean, my first fight in the cage, I think I only done about 6 weeks of floor work. I didn't really like the man-hugging jiu-jitsu thing, but you know, you have to do it, it's part and parcel of it. I preferred wrestling, but I used to just look at it as a street fight, and I'm getting paid for it, and I'm like, oh, I can't get nicked. And yeah, no, I loved it. I just wish I started 2-3 years earlier. I think I'd be a UFC fighter.
Yeah, and you stopped that? Was there a reason you just had enough of it?
Once again, I had another operation on my right eye, which would be my 4th operation. I got my eye gouged my very last fight. I knocked the guy over with the very first punch of the fight, and then I kind of let him up, and he threw a left hook with his hands open and sort of gouged my eye. I think it was an accident, and the lens in the back of my eye collapsed, and another operation, and that was that. So yeah, I ended up retiring from the cage, and that was it until sort of now.
I remember seeing you fight Butterbean. That was a great night up in Blackpool. Do you remember much about that?
Yeah, I remember everything as clear as day. We was basically going up there as an opponent. We was looking to be bowled over in the first round. Everyone we spoke to was all talking about, oh, I hope you make it to the second round. I hope you can do this. I hope you can do that. Don't get hit with the right hand. Blah 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 blah. But we trained like animals. I mean, I was training in the morning. When Noel had a body shield on, with gloves on, trying to hit me, and all I was doing was literally boxing and moving. I had ankle weights on when I was doing shadow boxing sparring, so that my feet were sort of fleet-footed, and just literally I was sparring 12 and 15 rounds every single afternoon, as well as training in the morning. I was running, I was sprinting, I was so fit. And when I got in there, I don't think he landed a glove on me. I think he landed half a left hook. I mean, he had heavy hands, and he missed me with a right hand that whistled past my head. And I think if he'd hit me, I'd probably still be laying there now, because he can't punch. But I just didn't want to get hit, because I knew if he hit me once, that'd be the end of the fight. So yeah, no, but I boxed it down to perfection, landing several punches and then several punches moving, and then he eventually started weakening and caught him a few times, wobbled him, and then referee stopped the fight with a couple of seconds to go in the first round.
So if this is your last fight, how are you going to feel about it?
No, I'm pleased it's my last fight. I'm literally, this is it now for me. I think you start to realise that you're getting old, because not so much the trainer I always love. I love running, I love sparring, I love hitting the pads, I love hitting the bag. But the only time I notice I'm getting old is the aches and pains. You know, I wake up in the morning and feel like an old man, but the first sort of 15-20 minutes I'm walking around like like I've had a seizure. So yeah, I think this has got to be the curtain. The curtain's got to fall on this now, and I'm looking to go on elsewhere and do other things.
Here's Mark's fight in Blackpool against Butterbean, where he was on such top form and in such a good mood. He was devastating that night, and king of the ring. So that's Mark, king of the ring, and it's just a small tribute from myself paid to the wonderful Mr. Mark Potter, and his name won't be forgotten because his many friends will be putting on charity events for his family. What a character, and the world is a sadder place without him.